When the world changed forever on September 11, 2001, one name became synonymous with terror: Osama bin Laden. For over a decade, the world's most wanted man evaded the most powerful military and intelligence forces on the planet. But what really happened during the search for bin Laden? How did the United States, with all its might, struggle to capture a single man? Behind the headlines are hidden failures, strategic blunders, and shocking betrayals that few people know. The rise of bin Laden, from ally to enemy. Osama bin Laden's early years are filled with ironies. Born into Saudi Arabia's billionaire bin Laden family, he was once considered an ally of the West. During the 1980 Soviet-Afghan War, bin Laden received indirect support through CIA-backed programs designed to fight the USSR. However, after the war ended, bin Laden's ideology turned sharply against the United States, which he viewed as an imperial force corrupting the Muslim world. By the mid-1990s, bin Laden had formed Al-Qaeda, a shadowy terrorist organization with global reach. He orchestrated the 1998 U.S. Embassy bombings in Africa, the 2000 USS Cole bombing, and ultimately the 9/11 attacks, the deadliest terrorist attack in modern history. The hunt begins, America's $25 million manhunt. Following 9/11, President George W. Bush declared bin Laden America's most wanted enemy. The CIA, NSA, FBI, and U.S. military poured resources into a global search. In December 2001, American forces believed they had cornered him in the Tora Bora Mountains of Afghanistan. Yet, in a stunning failure, bin Laden escaped, reportedly slipping through mountain passes into Pakistan. This failure marked the beginning of a frustrating and complicated manhunt. Despite advanced drone surveillance, human intelligence networks, and international cooperation, bin Laden remained elusive. Even the $25 million bounty on his head yielded no concrete leads for years. Pakistan's shadow role, friend or foe. One of the murkiest elements of the manhunt was the role of Pakistan. While publicly allied with the U.S. in its war on terror, suspicions grew that elements within Pakistan's intelligence agency, ISI, were protecting bin Laden. These suspicions reached a peak when bin Laden was eventually found living in Abbottabad, a military town near Pakistan's capital, just miles from a military academy. Was Pakistan complicit, negligent, or simply embarrassed? The answer remains heavily debated within intelligence circles. Operation Neptune Spear, the final chapter? On May 2, 2011, the world watched in shock as President Barack Obama announced that U.S. Navy SEALs had killed bin Laden in a daring midnight raid. Operation Neptune Spear was a high-stakes mission executed without informing Pakistani authorities. SEAL Team 6 stormed the Abbottabad compound, neutralizing bin Laden in less than 40 minutes. His body was buried at sea within 24 hours. The world celebrated, but the secrecy surrounding the operation and the rapid disposal of bin Laden's body fueled conspiracy theories. Was the hunt truly over? Was the official story complete? Untold secrets, what the world still doesn't know. While the official narrative paints a clean victory, insiders whisper about hidden files, secret interrogations, and missed opportunities. Intelligence failures at Tora Bora, possible double agents within allied forces, and the role of private contractors have never been fully exposed. Some allege that bin Laden may have been under de facto house arrest in Pakistan, shielded by rogue factions of ISI. Why did the U.S. government classify many details of the hunt for decades? What secrets are buried in sealed files? The hunt may be over, but the story isn't. Osama bin Laden may be dead, but the real story of his manhunt remains unfinished. From the dark corridors of intelligence agencies to the inner politics of foreign allies, unanswered questions linger. In our next article we'll uncover how the U.S. government's own policies may have unknowingly protected bin Laden, the role of secret CIA prisons and black sites in the hunt. Why did certain key operatives disappear after Abbottabad? The question remains, did the USA really win the war against Osama bin Laden? Or was it just the beginning of a much darker chapter? Stay tuned, the secrets are far from over. The world rejoiced at the announcement of Osama bin Laden's death. Headlines declared victory. U.S. leaders celebrated the symbolic end to a decade-long manhunt. But behind the public triumph, intelligence officers, military strategists, and geopolitical analysts were already grappling with a disturbing reality. Killing bin Laden might not have ended the war, it may have only transformed it into something far more dangerous. The Hydra effect, cutting off one head. The death of bin Laden was expected to cripple Al-Qaeda. But instead of collapsing, the organization fractured and evolved. Like a hydra, when one head was cut off, several more took its place. Regional affiliates like Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, AQAP. Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, AQIM. Al-Shabaab in Somalia began gaining strength. In some cases, these groups became even more brutal and decentralized than the original Al-Qaeda. Worse still, the ideological vacuum left by bin Laden's death created space for an even more violent force to rise: ISIS. The Islamic State's rapid growth and global recruitment caught the world off guard, showing that the war on terror was far from over. The Shadow Wars, a new form of combat. Rather than ending military campaigns, the U.S. shifted to covert operations and drone warfare. From Pakistan's tribal areas to Yemen and Somalia, the CIA and JSOC, Joint Special Operations Command, began waging a shadow war, one largely hidden from the public. This new strategy led to expanded drone strikes, often criticized for civilian casualties; secret CIA black sites, where high-value detainees vanished without trial; increased use of private military contractors, operating outside public accountability. The war became harder to see but not less deadly. Pakistan, America's questionable ally. The discovery of bin Laden deep within Pakistan reopened critical questions. How much did Pakistan's government really know? Was the ISI protecting him, or was their intelligence apparatus simply fractured? Years later, declassified documents suggest that rogue elements within Pakistan's intelligence may have been aware of bin Laden's presence. The U.S.-Pakistan alliance, long strained, grew more fragile as trust eroded between supposed allies. Even today, some believe that high-level complicity in Pakistan remains one of the biggest untold secrets of the bin Laden saga. Inside the sealed files, what the public wasn't told. While photos of bin Laden's corpse were never released, countless other details remain locked away in classified files. Operation Neptune Spear mission logs. Post-raid intelligence recovered from bin Laden's compound. Interrogation records of captured Al-Qaeda operatives. What? Analysts suspect that the information could reveal sensitive U.S. intelligence methods, foreign government betrayals, evidence of back-channel negotiations with terrorist intermediaries. Could the truth be too damaging to global diplomatic relations? The real war, an endless battle for hearts and minds. Perhaps the darkest truth is this: America's war against terror didn't end with bin Laden because terrorism itself is not a man, it's an idea. The post-9/11 era saw increased anti-American sentiment across the Middle East, the rise of homegrown radicals in the U.S. and Europe, endless wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and beyond. The killing of bin Laden was a tactical victory but may have been a strategic illusion. Every drone strike and military intervention risks breeding new generations of extremists. A darker chapter begins. While bin Laden's death closed one chapter, it opened another, one marked by covert wars, proxy battles, and a global terror landscape more fractured and complex than ever before. But what if the real story isn't about military operations or intelligence failures? What if, hidden deep within classified files, there lies a more unsettling revelation: that some factions within the global power structure benefited from keeping the war alive? In our next chapter we'll explore the role of the military-industrial complex in perpetuating endless war, how terrorism became an economic engine for defense contractors, and whether global security is truly the goal, or just the excuse. Prepare for revelations that could redefine everything you thought you knew about the war on terror. The question is no longer, did the USA win? It's, was victory ever the real objective? The honest answer: it depends on how you define victory. Tactically, yes, the USA won. Osama bin Laden was killed in 2011, ending a decade-long hunt. Al-Qaeda's central leadership was severely weakened. Multiple terror plots against U.S. targets were disrupted. The 9/11 mastermind was eliminated, bringing symbolic justice. From a military and intelligence standpoint, the USA achieved its core objective: to remove bin Laden and dismantle Al-Qaeda's command structure. Strategically, it's not that simple. Terrorism didn't end. New extremist groups like ISIS emerged, even more brutal and far-reaching than Al-Qaeda. The war on terror shifted into endless covert drone strikes, proxy wars, and surveillance. American taxpayers spent trillions of dollars, while thousands of U.S. soldiers and countless civilians overseas lost their lives. Anti-American sentiment deepened in parts of the Middle East, breeding new radicals. So while the USA achieved its immediate goals, the broader war on terror became a forever war. Economically and politically a victory for some, loss for many. The military-industrial complex profited immensely from prolonged wars. Defense contractors, intelligence agencies, and private military firms gained power and influence. Meanwhile, ordinary citizens saw reduced civil liberties and skyrocketing national debt. Final verdict: did the USA win? If victory means killing bin Laden and weakening Al-Qaeda, yes. If victory means ending terrorism and creating long-term peace, no. In reality, bin Laden's death closed a chapter but not the book. The USA may have won the battle, but the war itself morphed into something darker, more complex, and possibly endless. It was a victory, but a hollow one.